This has got to be. So are we on the Get Set Up TV right now then?
Yeah, I have pushed stream live. Now I'm gonna make you host, and then you have to make me co-host back again.
Yeah, I can do that. You are co-host now. Oh, this is so exciting. This is what everyone can see what happens before a Get Set Up class.
Yeah.
I'm sure
But
people are on pins and needles just watching the excitement.
exactly.
I tell you what, I have so many things that I need for this class. I have a USB hub and it's just so sensitive. Every time I move like my computer or one of the items that
Oh,
I'm
so
using,
it disconnects, right?
it disconnects and reconnects. Yeah, so that is kind of a pain. So I need to look for probably something a little sturdier.
Exactly. You gotta change your USB, right? You gotta either you have to get a new USB or you have to fix the port.
Yeah, exactly. Fix the port. That's good advice. Right. So let's see. I'm just going to test this out. All right. Sounds like we've got people. There we go. All right. Thank you for being here. Welcome. Happy Thursday. Hi. Hi, Joni. Welcome, welcome, welcome. They're starting to come in. Welcome, everyone. Thanks very much for being here. We're going to give a couple of minutes to the people who may also be dropping in, finding their way to get in here. Hello, Laverne. Welcome. Good to see you. And Jay and Carol. Welcome to Get Set Up. Just out of, yay, yay. Just out of curiosity, is this anyone's first Get Set Up class? I don't think I've ever, yeah, I would think that this is one of those classes that you may not start Get Set Up with, but I would really love it if there was one person who would be the first to take this class. Like this is the class they take first. And so haven't found that person yet, because I think everyone who's taken this class has been on Zoom for a while, had a little bit of experience with Get Set Up, and now we're going to take this to the next level, because that's what this class is all about. So hello, Zenada? No, it looks like you're on mute.
Zenaida.
Zenaida, I was this close. All right, Zenaida,
Yes,
welcome.
you're close. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And so I wanted to let you know, if you're just joining us in the class, we do have a TA with us today. If you're not hip on the education lingo, TA stands for teacher assistant. And today our TA is Michael, and Michael has already put in the chat. Hi, my name is Michael. I'm part of the Get Set Up TA team, and we'll be here to relay questions from the chat over to the guide. That's me. And please let me know if you need any assistance. And so Michael is here if you have any technical questions, if you are not able to see the screen or have trouble that way, all you would need to do is just send a private message to Michael, and he would be able to help you with that. So we are going to wait just another few seconds, and then we'll kick off the class. Hello, Jay. I can see it looks like you have your camera turned on, but I can also see that it looks like there's a black void where a face
There's a
should be.
problem with it, so
Oh,
I'm living with
oh.
it till I get it solved. Thank
Well,
you.
you know what? Maybe we can discuss it in the class. We'll see. It'll be the perfect learning opportunity. So welcome. Thank you very much. Thanks for being here, Carol and Pam and Juanita. Good to see you all. And so with that, what I think we will do is get started. So I'm going to share my screen and let you know that this class is called Look Like a Superstar on Zoom. And so hopefully at the end of this class, you'll have a few more tips on how to put your best face forward on this relatively new media platform that is called Zoom. And I know that most of us have probably been working with Zoom for the better part of a year. And we will talk about some ways to look better and fix any issues that you may have encountered over the last year since we've been on Zoom. My name is Chris. There's my picture right there. See, I have performed improv comedy for over 15 years, and I've taught improv for over 8 years, which is one of the reasons why I'm doing this class on Zoom. I am located, and this class is coming to you live and direct from Tucson, Arizona, where again, it is sunny. It is sunny for relatively 300 and some odd days a year, and today is no exception. The reason that I'm on Get Set Up is because I love sharing my experiences and introducing people to new and exciting thoughts and ideas. And hopefully there's a couple of new and exciting thoughts in this particular class. If you have been on Get Set Up for a while, you know that we are a platform that educates seniors, or what I like to call seenagers, right? Because we're all kind of teenagers at heart. And we are creating a community here on Get Set Up. As a matter of fact, this class is being live streamed right now. So the people watching on Get Set Up TV can see us. Hello. If you are watching us on a live stream or Get Set Up TV and you have questions during the class, go ahead and join. I'm pretty sure there's a button there that says join class. And so if you want to make the transition from watching to actually being part of the class and being able to ask and get your questions answered, hit that button that says join class. If you are joining us in the class, one of the ways that we help create the community on Get Set Up, and especially in this particular class, is by turning on our cameras. Now, I know, Jay, we're going to talk about what's going on with you, but if you have the ability to turn on your camera and you're comfortable doing that, we would love to see your face. And that helps, with the exchange of ideas, because we're going to have that during this class. And then also it's just, as I said, helps build the Get Set Up community. This session is being recorded. So what I will do is I will send you a link to the recording when I send out the class notes after this particular session. And so we're going to dive into how to look like a superstar on Zoom. We're going to cover a few different ways to help improve your appearance. One of these is involving your webcam and your seating, positioning yourself with your webcam. We're going to talk about lighting. We're going to talk about different backgrounds, actual real backgrounds, and those fun Zoom virtual backgrounds that you may have heard so much about or used. We're going to talk about special effects, some of the things that are within Zoom to help liven up your meetings or your calls. And then we're going to go ahead and just have a summary for all of those things. So what I'm going to do is stop sharing my screen and ask right off the top if anyone came into this class with any questions. Are there any things that you want to know about how to improve your appearance on Zoom. And we'll hopefully be able to address those as we move on during the class. So I'm going to open it up right now for questions. If you don't have an overwhelming amount of background noise, feel free to take yourself off mute, because if you want to ask a question, just go ahead and let me know, shout it out, and we'll see what information people are looking for. Okay, Laverne, I see you have your hand up.
Yeah, I was wondering, like right now, it look like everything is like pale. There's no color, and I was wondering how to adjust that.
It's a little bit washed out. Yeah, I could see that. Okay, we can go ahead and talk about a couple of different things that might be causing that. And so thank you for that question. I will definitely keep that in mind, and we'll see if we can improve your colors as we move along. I think I saw Mick. Mick, did you have a question? Maybe
Yes, yes,
Hi.
I did. I tuned in late. Will you be sending out notes about this?
I will. I'll be sending out notes talking about the things that we've discussed in this class. I'll also send out a link to the recording so that you can review that if you would like to do that.
All right, thank you.
Okay, great. So I think right off the top, what I'd like to do is find out what everyone is using as far as a device. I see that there's usually a few different types of devices that people get onto Zoom and get set up using. One of them would be a laptop computer, a desktop computer, a tablet, which is like an iPad or an Android tablet, and then also your phone. And so just out of curiosity, if you are on a laptop or a desktop computer, go ahead and raise your hand, either physically or by using the reactions. Raise your hand if you're on a desktop or a laptop. Okay, I see Jay. Great. Okay, all right. So it looks, okay, great. Thank you very much. If you could put your hands down, that would be great. If you are on a tablet, like an iPad, go ahead and raise your hand. All right, looks like a couple there, Arlene and Joni. And if you're using your phone, raise your hand. Oh, I think Zenaida, are you on your phone? Zenaida? I already forgot. I could tell that it looks like you're using your phone, yep, because on the screen, it's kind of tall, long and narrow, kind of like you're holding your phone like this. And what I would suggest that if you want a more full picture, to just take your phone and tilt it like this. And if you do that, then your little rectangle on Zoom will fill up with more of the camera and more of your view. So there's a tip right there if you are on your phone. Okay, so thank you for that. It gives me an idea of where everyone is and what everyone is using. So the first thing that I'd like to talk about is positioning yourself in front of your camera. Now, all of these different devices have their cameras in different places. If you're on a laptop or a desktop, then you know where your camera is. Usually it's at the top, or if you're on a desktop using a monitor, then you may have a separate USB webcam, kind of like something like this. And maybe you have that hanging on top of your monitor. So you know where your camera is. And so the first thing that I would suggest is, if you want to have a good appearance on Zoom, then even before you start your meeting, if you can find a way to position yourself to where you are eye level with your camera, then that can provide a good looking and professional kind of image as far as that goes. Now, I know that some people are distanced from their camera. They may be sitting, you know, a little bit further back. But if you're able to position yourself where you're looking into your camera. Now, if you're using a device, I know it can be a little bit trickier, something like an iPad or a phone, because the camera is kind of built into the device and you don't know exactly where it is to where to look at it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm going to guess, Arlene, you know that already, right? Yeah. So if you can find a way to kind of set, and this is something that you might want to do with trial and error, is position your device, either your phone or your iPad, in different places to where you can see if you are looking right into it. And with a phone and an iPad, that might be a little bit trickier than with a desktop or a laptop, because the desktops and laptops are sturdier. They have more area. And usually with a laptop, the camera is built right into the computer. Some desktops are that way as well, where the camera is built right into the monitor. And so it's easier to position the device. However, if you are on a desktop or a laptop and you find yourself, you know, not lined up with the camera, I have a pretty simple solution for that. And you can also use this if you are using a phone or an iPad as well. I always like to recommend that before you go out and buy anything, that you look around your house and see if there's anything that you can use that you have already around you. And what I would suggest as far as positioning your camera, how about a stack of books, right? Grab a stack of books. Usually people have those lying around, and put them under your laptop or your desktop to where you can line up the monitor to where it's to a place where you're looking right into the camera. If you have an iPad or a phone, then you might be able to do that with books. You might also be able to use something like a plastic storage tub, one of those, you know, things, one of those things that you might have in your storage area or under your bed, something like that, to elevate your device to where you're looking, you know, into the camera. Now, as far as phones and tablets go, another suggestion that I would like to make for you is a tripod. So these are relatively inexpensive if you don't have one already. This is a compact one. I actually picked this up on Amazon for probably about $20. You can see right now it is as compact as possible. And so right now it's only about 16 inches long, 16 to 18 inches long. But you can see that at the bottom here, it has these legs, and these legs extend out. So I can take this tripod and I can extend it all the way and make it about 4 feet tall. So it's got a lot of flexibility. Well, you know, it's not that flexible, but it's got a lot of flexibility as far as height goes, to where you can position your phone or your tablet to just the right height. Say you're sitting on the couch or something like that. You can get a tripod, put it in front of you, and adjust it to where you're sitting so that you're looking right into your phone or your tablet. And the way that it works is this particular tripod came with a clip. So this is kind of an extendable clip. And what you would do is you would take your phone and then you would put the clip on your phone so it's holding it. And at the bottom here, you can see that it has a little screw, right? And so you take this bottom part, take your tripod, and you straighten it out. And the tripod has the other part of the screw. So you take your phone or your tablet and you just screw it on there. And then it is secure and you're ready to go. You're ready to position it. You know, maybe you want to open it up and you want to put it on your table so that you're looking straight into it. And there's many different options as far as using a tripod. Now, also, one of the benefits of having a tripod for your phone or your tablet is that if you have to move, if you have to go from room to room, it is more stable. If you have to pick it up and you're on the go, say you have it and you're moving from one room to another or one position to another, because it is locked in to the tripod, it doesn't shake as much. If you have your phone just in your hand and you're going down the hallway, you might get the people that are watching seasick because it's moving so much, right? But if you have your tripod, then you have that extra layer of stability, and you can make things a little bit easier for yourself and also the people that are watching. And this particular clip that I have is probably best designed for a phone, either an Android phone or an iPhone. Both kinds of phone will fit in here. But if you are interested in finding something like this for your iPad or another kind of a tablet, they do have things online where they have clips that are big enough for tablets as well. And of course, as I said, the tripod that I had was about $20. And so it really does depend on your price range. You don't have to get something that's expensive. You can find something for whatever is a good price range for you. Sure, I've seen tripods that are online for $80, $90, $100, but I've also seen tripods that work just as well for $20 or $30. So it really depends on how much you want to and how much you're able to spend as far as what equipment you would get. Is there any questions about that? Or any comments or suggestions? Maybe if you already have a tripod, you can let us know how it works for you. Nope.
How would you look for that? If you say are going on Amazon, would you look for a tripod with Android attachment, or how do you do that?
Yeah, what I would do if I was going to do an Amazon search, it depends on what device you're looking for, right? If you're looking for a tripod to go with your phone, then you would do a search maybe for tripod for iPhone. And then that should give you a good range of things to look at. If you're looking for a tablet, you could specifically put, tripod for Android tablet or tripod for iPad. And that should give you a good selection of things to start with. And then you could kind of narrow down what your particular needs are. But yeah, doing just a general search, either online in general or on a place like Amazon, is a good place to start.
Thank you.
Sure. Laverne. Oh, you're muted.
Is there a tripod where you can use your tablet or either your phone, or do you have to get them separate, one for tablet, one for phone?
I don't know that specifically. What I would guess is that you could use the same tripod, right? Because it's got the screw on the top, and you might be able to find different size clips. You might be able to find a clip that is sized for your phone, and then a clip that is sized for your tablet. And that way, if they're the same and have the screw at the bottom, then you could just screw it onto the same tripod.
Oh, okay.
So
Right.
Yeah, you might want to look for something like that. Okay, so moving a little bit towards the actual camera, I want to let you know a little bit of my personal story. So as I said, I am an improv comedian. I performed improv for over 15 years here in Tucson, and 14 of those years were live in a theater in front of people. You can guess that maybe sometime around March of last year, that had to change because the theater that I performed at, we had to actually temporarily close, and we're still closed for now for live shows and improv classes. So what we did was very quickly after we had to close down for live performances, we moved over to Zoom. So for the past 60 weeks in a row, we have done online performances at least once a week. And so I've had to become familiar with Zoom and kind of how to perform or how to look good for a performance on Zoom. And so that's where the idea for this class came out of, is the techniques and things that I've learned about that. Another thing that I learned sometime around March of 2020 was that this particular laptop that I'm using right now, the laptop that I purchased in October of 2019, before anybody had ever heard of COVID, does not have a very good webcam. It has a webcam that's built into the laptop, but in October of 2019, I didn't care. I wasn't looking for a webcam because, to be honest with you, up until that point, I hardly ever or never used my webcam. As a matter of fact, most of the time I actually had a Post-it note stuck over the camera because, you know, I had heard about people being able to kind of take over your computer and access your camera, and I didn't want anybody looking to see what I was doing. So I had a Post-it over the camera. And then around March of last year, I had to take that Post-it off because I was using Zoom all the time. And what I found out was that in a daytime situation like this, when I have a lot of light, the camera worked pretty well. But at night, when it was more of a low light situation, the camera was very grainy and it did not look good at all. And so what I needed to do was I needed to find another webcam that I could plug into my computer, something that was a little more high definition than the one that was built into my computer. And so at that time, you couldn't find a webcam anywhere because everyone was buying them because everyone was starting to work from home. And so it took me a while. It took me a couple of months, but I actually was able to find a separate webcam. And this is it, actually. It's a pretty small webcam. The brand is Dartwood, not that it matters very much. I wanted to also remind you that here on Get Set Up, if we mention like a product by name, it's not because we're being compensated to say that. It's because we are familiar with the product, we use it, we like it. And so that's why I would be mentioning names of brands, not because we're getting paid to say that. So actually, this camera is within the price range that I was looking for, and that price range was about $30. And I actually found this camera at Target. And the only reason why I went to Target was because I had a gift card. And so, yeah, go wherever you can get the best deal. I had a gift card for $30 for Target, and so that was good enough for me, and I bought this camera. And it actually works pretty well. The main thing that I was looking for in a webcam is high definition. And so I made sure that this camera was 1080p, which is a high definition, kind of the same HD that is in your television, and it gives a very clear and good picture. Now, as you can see, I'm holding this webcam, and that means that's not the webcam that I'm currently using. Because I am a Get Set Up guide, Get Set Up takes very good care of their guides, and they actually sent me a webcam. And so that's the one that I'm looking at right now. And what I'm going to see if we can do, and I may not be able to do this, we'll see, is I'm going to switch over. I'm going to use this webcam and show you what the camera is that I'm using now. And so let's see if we can do that. Maybe no picture. Oh, this is always a little tricky. So, okay. All right, it is not showing up.
Oh no,
You disappeared.
where are you? No, Harley. Shh, 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 shh. He's lost. Elvis has left the building.
It's kind of ironic when it's about how to look great on Zoom.
I think he's taking his equipment apart so he can tell us what he actually is using.
Chris's internet just went down.
Oh no.
Okay, can you hear me? Sorry about that.
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right, great. Thank you very much for sticking around. Hey, there I am. I'm back.
There you are.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for your patience. As we know, this is a world of technology, and sometimes the technology doesn't always cooperate. So I learned my lesson. I'm not going to be able to show you what camera I'm using, but the camera that I am using is a high definition camera. And it is called a Razer Kiyo, Razerkiyo. And so when I received this camera from Get Set Up, I actually looked it up online, and this is a $100 camera. And it was something that I probably wouldn't normally buy on my own. But as I said, there are different price ranges, but hopefully you'll take my word for it that this $30 camera was very comparable to the $100 camera that I'm currently using. So there are many different options for you if you think that you need a different camera other than the camera that's built into your computer or the camera that may have come with your computer. I see Joni, you have your hand up. And so as we're waiting for Joni, is there any other questions about cameras or positioning, anything like that? Yes, Laverne.
HD. Now, yesterday I go in my settings and I go in there, but I'm always scared to click on something because I'm scared I'm gonna click on something wrong.
Sure.
But it was saying HD because what I was doing, I was trying to figure out why my appearance on the camera, as you said, looks washed out.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I was looking and it said HD, and I'm wondering what is, I know it's high definition, but just exactly what does that mean?
It means that it means that the look that's on the screen is it uses more data to increase the picture quality. And so HD, like you said, stands for high definition. And so it makes the picture sharper, basically. And so are you on a laptop or a desktop?
Laptop.
Laptop, okay. And you're using the camera that was built into the laptop?
Yes.
Okay. And when you were looking at your settings, so when you were looking at your settings, were you looking at your Zoom settings or the settings for your computer on your camera?
The settings for the computer.
Settings for the computer. Okay. And did you end up selecting HD?
No, I was afraid. I didn't know what I was doing.
Okay. All right. Well, you may want to, after the meeting, you may want to give it a try. You may want to bring up Zoom and then see if it makes a difference if you switch the settings on your computer to HD. But what I can tell is that the picture looks fairly sharp. But again, as I said about my laptop, it may be the camera that you're using. And so if you ended up getting a separate webcam, that might help increase the sharpness of the picture and perhaps the color quality as far as that goes. But I am also going to talk about lighting in a minute. And so that might be it as well. So hopefully that helped. But yeah, what I would say is if you have the option of using HD, see if it makes a difference. Switch over to it, see if it makes a difference. And if it doesn't make much of a difference, maybe you could just switch over to where you had it before. Joni.
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yep, I can hear you.
I'm not very tech savvy, as you can tell. Anyhow, you've been talking all about the webcams. Is that something you can do with an iPad, or are we simply stuck with whatever the iPad camera has?
As far as I know, there's not a way, because the webcams that I'm talking about, they plug into your computer like this. They have one of these USB plugs, and it plugs into your computer that way, or it plugs into something like this, which is called a USB hub. It's almost like an extension cord for your computer. So it's got these extra slots that you can plug this into. And as far as I know, on a tablet, there isn't an actual USB port that you can plug something like that into. However, for what it's worth, what I've heard and experienced personally is if you are on an iPad or an iPhone, the cameras are usually pretty good as far as that goes. So I don't know if there would be a need to actually improve the camera, but maybe your environment, where you're at, you could improve to help with the picture. Like, for example, my phone, actually the camera on my phone is much better than this camera that was built into this laptop that I have. And I think that it's just because the technology on phones are a little bit better, a little bit more advanced. And then also the processors on the phones as compared with your computer are higher quality, and they do what needs to be done quicker. So yeah, to answer your question, I don't think that you could plug an external webcam into an iPad.
But what you're saying, a desktop for sure, and what about a laptop?
Yeah,
Okay.
any computer or device that has a place to plug a USB cord into it should be, able to take an external webcam.
All right, thank you.
Sure. Juanita, hi. You're on mute.
Okay, sorry about that.
That's
How
okay.
do I change my background?
You mean like a virtual background?
Yes.
Okay, we'll go ahead and talk about that in just a couple minutes. But what I would say first and foremost about virtual backgrounds is I'm going to talk a little bit about that during this class. There is a full 1 hour Get Set Up class all about virtual backgrounds. So I'm going to recommend you look that up. Maybe even if Michael can look at the Get Set Up schedule, it is taught by Bob Cohen, and he goes in depth into everything about virtual backgrounds, but I am going to talk a little bit about that in a couple minutes. So yeah, that's a really interesting aspect of Zoom. But at this point, what I'd like to do is move on to talk about lighting. Oh, there we go. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Enjoying you guys.
Well, it's good to see you. Thanks
Good
for
to
being
see
here.
you, everybody.
Great. So, well, I'm going to talk about lighting, and it looks like you are in a place where you get a lot of natural light.
I
You got
do.
those windows and everything. And so that's where I want to start with as far as lighting goes. What I would recommend is, if it's at all possible for you to use the natural light that's around you, please do. Because first of all, it's free, right? Second of all, it is powerful. You can see that I'm near a big window here, and I've got the natural light coming in, and so it highlights my face, it lights it up, makes it brighter, right? And also because it is just a really great resource. Now, I know that there are people who are in places and situations where you don't have access to natural light, and certainly nobody has access to natural light at night because the sun's down, right? So what I would suggest is the more lighting you can get, the more light you can get on your face, the better it makes your appearance look, because it really kind of highlights what you look like in comparison with the things that you have in the background, either an actual background or a virtual background on Zoom. And so one of the things that I would suggest is you start with finding things around your home, like I said. So if you have maybe a table lamp or a desk lamp or something that you can easily move to the place where your computer is and you're doing your Zoom meetings on, I would start with that. And again, all of this is trial and error. You take your lights, you take your lamps, and you position them in a place where you are getting the most light, but certainly not enough to overexpose, right? To wash out your face and again, that is a process that you would figure out and find out what works best for you. One of the things that I've used that I want to tell you about is something called a ring light. And that's what this is. Hello. It kind of looks like, one of those light up makeup mirrors that you may have, because this part out here is the light. Right. And this lights up. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug it in here so I can show you how it lights up. And again, this was not expensive. This is something that I found at a store. They're across the country, but I don't know if you have one in your town. It's called Big Lots. And so I've got this for $10 at Big Lots, right? And of course, it was a while ago. It was before Christmas. So I don't know if they still have these kind of things, but you can find these fairly inexpensively. And this one is a kind of a small one. This is probably about 6 inches across, but it also comes with kind of
Remote.
control, right? So you can control the level of the light. So I'm going to turn it on and it'll be the brightest. So you can see that it's pretty bright. And so if I hold it up like this, it's really, really intense.
Sure, yeah.
But if I go ahead and turn it down a little bit, actually, if I turn it down, if I turn it off and turn it down, then you can see that it is a little kinder as far as that goes. So it has different settings. And then it also has different colors. Like this is kind of a white fluorescent. You can go to more of a brown, like a sepia. And then this is a bluish fluorescent light. And so there are different options as far as that goes. I usually prefer the brown sepia, and then you can adjust it to whatever you want to enhance the lighting that you may need. Now, see, I'm going to go ahead and turn it off again because you can see that. There we go. So since I'm sitting next to this window and the light is coming in this way, you can see that this half of my face is really lit up and it looks good. But this side is a little bit in shadow.
Yeah.
So if I have my ring light right here and I position it outside of the frame so that nobody can see that I'm using a light and turn it on, then it adds the light to kind of make it look a lot more even.
Definitely.
And, again, I can turn it down, I can turn it up so that it's closer and it makes it look a lot more uniform as far as that goes. So and the great thing about these lights is you can kind of position them anywhere to where you need the extra lighting. And so that is something that I would recommend. Again, if you can find what you're looking for. I've also seen these kind of ring lights as part of a package, right? I was talking about tripods a little bit earlier. Well, I've seen a tripod that also has a ring light. The ring light's a little bit bigger and it has like a clip on it, like a phone holder, where you can actually put your phone in there like this. And so the light is all around your phone. So if you're looking into the light and you're looking into your phone, then it gives you that lighting that may be helpful for what you need. And so, I want to talk about ring lights. Also talking about natural lighting, there are a couple of tips as far as that goes. As you can see, I've got the light coming in from the side, but if I take my computer and I pick it up and I turn a little bit closer to the window, you can see that the natural light is hitting more of my face, right? So that is also a way to even out the lighting and make it a little bit more uniform. Now, also, if I take my computer and turn it this way so that I'm sitting by the window and I have the window coming in from behind, you can see that all of a sudden my face is in darkness. And all of the light coming through the window is what the camera is picking up, right? So I would suggest, if it's at all possible, if you can position yourself to where you're not sitting with a window behind you and that light coming in, because that kind of takes away from the benefit that you're getting from that natural lighting. So that's just another quick tip for you as far as lighting goes. Any other questions or comments regarding lighting?
I think you've about said it all.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. So now then what we're going to do is we're going to move on to talking just briefly about backgrounds. So as I said at the beginning of the class, we're going to talk about actual backgrounds and virtual backgrounds. And so you can see that I am in my house, and this is not a virtual background. This is actually, what's behind me. And the reason that I like to sit here is I really like that picture. And I like to have that picture in the background when I'm on there, because it's not, it's not too much, it's not cluttery, and it's a picture that I happen to like. So that's why I like this position. So if you're thinking about backgrounds, or you're thinking about where you're going to sit for a Zoom meeting or a Zoom call, you give that a little bit of thought. If there's a place in your house that you like, or there's something in the background that you would like to be part of your Zoom meeting, then work towards positioning yourself that way. Now, I know that there are places where you just don't have access to something like that. You may have noticed over the last year, they've been interviewing a lot of people from their homes. And what I've noticed is a lot of people like to sit in front of a bookshelf, right? They have their bookshelves. I don't know if they think that makes them look smart or something, like, look, I've got a lot of books, so I read a lot, so I'm really smart. I don't know what that is, but I've seen bookshelves a lot behind people.
I have to.
Yeah. And so, that can do two things. It can make you look like you are an educated person, or you're very well read, or it can look like there's a bunch of clutter behind you. All these books, they have to be lined up straight, and they can't be, sideways, and have books stuck up here, stuck over there, because that might detract from your background. People are looking at what you're reading as opposed to looking at you. So keep that in mind and take that into account as far as your actual in real life, your real life backgrounds. If you want to do a Zoom background, then that is an option for some people. Now, the reason that I say for some people is we're going to go back to my old laptop here that I bought in October of 2019. So when I bought my laptop, I didn't know anything about Zoom backgrounds. And what I found out in Bob Cohen's Zoom background class is that to have a virtual background just pop up right behind you without any help, you need a fairly powerful processor in your computer or in your device, whatever it is you need. And I actually looked up the processor that is in my laptop, and unfortunately, it's not powerful enough to run a Zoom background. So if I was going to go ahead and do a Zoom background right now, most likely it would show up on my shirt or my face, as opposed to actually behind me. See? So it's showing up on my shirt instead of actually behind me, because my computer is not powerful enough to do that. And so what I need to do if I want to have a Zoom background, which I do sometimes, is I have to get what's called a green screen. Has anybody, I'm sure you probably heard of a green screen, but what it is just basically a really big piece of green fabric that you would put on a stand that is behind you. And so what happens is the camera and the software in your computer focuses on that green material behind you, and it's able to put up the Zoom background on that because it's got somewhere for the camera and the software to focus on, so that it won't put it on your face or your clothes. It'll put it on the piece of material that's behind you. And so I do have a green screen, but another thing that I found out in Bob's class is the brighter green the material is, the better it's going to be for Zoom and for the camera to recognize that. So I wanted to give you that tip as well. And so there are sometimes there are limitations on the software and the processor that you have in your computer or your tablet, so where you're not able to do a Zoom background just instantly. You're not instantly able to throw that up there. So if you're having an issue with that, you may want, well, first of all, I would highly recommend you take Bob's class. And he'll be able to give you the details as far as that goes. Also, what you may want to do is you may want to update your Zoom software. And that will also go into what I'm going to talk about next as far as virtual filters as well. So if you are not sure whether or not you are updated to the latest version of the Zoom software, I'm going to go ahead and send a link in the class notes to Zoom's website, and it can give you instructions on how to update your software. Now, another thing about backgrounds is my phone, again, more powerful than my laptop. So if I happen to be on a Zoom meeting on my phone, I have no problem doing a virtual background. I can just go boom, and it's there, and it's crisp, and it doesn't, make me look like a ghost, like going through a wall, or sometimes that happens with a virtual background. So I can do that on my phone, but not on my laptop. And that's another thing about virtual backgrounds. So any other questions or comments? I see that Jody, hi Jody. Jody said, I just got a green screen. So yeah, you are exploring the world of virtual backgrounds.
Yeah.
Any other questions or comments about virtual backgrounds?
No, not at this time.
Okay.
Chris, I have a comment.
Okay.
I'm an actual librarian. I'm a public librarian, so I used to sit right in front of my big 5-shelf bookcase in my living room, which drove my daughters crazy. So we just moved, and when we moved, they made me get rid of it. But guess what? I have a new one in my bedroom, but that's not a conducive place for Zoom meetings. But you really taught me quite a few things about the background, because I didn't think of people looking at your books and all of that. I guess I kind of did as a librarian. Hey, look what I've read or whatever.
Yeah.
But it makes sense not to do that. You really taught me something today, and I'll have to bust myself and tell my daughters about that.
Well, thank you, Arlene. And again, I'm not telling you not to. It really is up to you. It is your choice, and I've even found myself doing that. If I'm watching an interview with someone and maybe my mind wanders a little bit, I say like, oh, can I read what books are on their shelves? I want to see, right? So everybody's, I think, a little nosy like that too. So yeah, exactly. So yeah, just, be aware of it, and know that you can kind of create the look that is behind you. And so you have the power over that, and you can just figure it out. Oh yes, Joni. Hi, Joni.
Hi. Does the ring light have a stand so you could actually stand it up?
Yes. The one that I have does. It's got these legs, and you can kind of take the legs out, and you can make it, whatever size you want. But also, one of the things that I like about this particular ring light is because I'm on a laptop. If I have them folded like this it's really easy to slide this over my laptop like this and kind of hang it off the top of my laptop if that is a better position for me. And so it's all, about what works for you, and it's trial and error. But I would say if you are looking for a light, make sure that it has what you need. If you need it to have a stand, make sure that it has a stand.
Now, if I were to go to Big Lots to see if they still have them, would it just simply be where the light bulbs are?
It would be probably in their electronics department, with all the keyboards and the charging cords and all those things. You might even be able to find something like this, which is a fun little thing I want to show you. So this, you can see, it looks like a little pig, right? And maybe they just got back from the vets because they had the cone of shame on, right? But no, it's not. Actually, what this is a suction cup. And what it does is it sticks to things, right? And so you can take this little pig and you can stick it to your phone, and then you have a phone stand.
Oh, wow.
So that's a cute little thing I like to show.
It's a cutie.
And I actually got this for Christmas, but you can find these on Amazon, and I'll probably send out a link as far as that goes as well. So if you have phones or tablets and you were, what we were talking about earlier, you're looking for a way to stand them up so they're a little bit more stable, you could look for something like that. You could look for a little phone stand. And that way, if you have like a stack of books or a storage tub, you can go ahead and put it on there that way. And so, yeah. And like I said, you might be able to find this at Big Lots, I don't know, or some sort of a phone stand. Yeah, I haven't seen those types of lights the last few times I've been there. But again, you can always look online. You can look in different stores. And yeah, Jody just said you ordered a ring light on Amazon for $15. So there's, again, a wide selection of these types of things. You just need to take a look and figure out what works best for you and how much you want to spend as far as that goes. So the last thing that I want to talk about, and I'm going to talk about it very quickly because we're getting to the end of the hour, is on Zoom, there is something called virtual or video filters. Now, this is different than a virtual background. Because they are things that you can click on and they will show up on your face, basically. So I'm going to give you an example. It's in the same section as your virtual background, but it says video filters. And so you can do things to the outside of your frame, your rectangle. You can give yourself some lights. You can pretend that you're on old time TV, you can be like I Love Lucy, something like that. Or you can give yourself some really cool, maybe you can give yourself a mustache, or you can give yourself some cool glasses. And these are, not
Good.
they're fun, right? And so I wanted to end the class with something that's a little fun that you can find on Zoom. Now, if you don't see these, you may need to upgrade, your software. You may need to install the latest version of Zoom. But you have these, you can get these kind of sunglasses. And so they're a little bit of fun, and they're called video filters. Juanita.
Yes, what you were just talking about, is that what the attorney had when he was in the courtroom? Is that the feature that was turned on?
It was something like that. Yeah, it wasn't it wasn't actually something through Zoom, but there are different kinds of software that you can download and use on Zoom to make yourself look like different things. Yeah. And that's what the cat lawyer did. Yeah. He apparently that was on his computer and he couldn't figure out how to get rid of it. But yeah, those are different kinds of video filters that aren't actually something that you would find in Zoom. But if you did a search for, Zoom video filters, something like that would probably come up. And so, yeah, speaking of cats, let's see, on Zoom, they do have a thing where you can look like, hello, or, you can look like another little animal, and you can actually have things like you can have a little bird over here, or maybe you can have right.
That's good.
Like, something like that, right? So yeah, they're a lot of fun on Zoom, and I just wanted to let you know about that. So in case you're on with your family or some friends, you can kind of lighten things up like that. Okay, well, at this point, I'm open to any final questions. And so as far as Laverne goes, what I would suggest is you may want to try to adjust your lighting as far as your appearance. And also you may want to look into getting another webcam, and maybe that would help with the way that you look as far as the picture looks. I mean, you yourself, you look great, but the picture.
Yeah.
So hopefully that answered anyone's questions. As I said, I am going to go ahead and send out the notes for this class. I'm going to share my screen again, and then we will finish up the class.
Okay, Chris.
Yes.
All right. Enjoyed it.
Well, good. I'm really glad that you enjoyed it.
Yes, very much.
And so I just wanted to finish up by saying, you know, you have control of how you look on the meeting. It's not cooperating. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and move quickly through these and let you know that if you enjoyed your experience today in this class, you can do a couple of things. You can share our hashtag, which is hashtag #GetSetUp, or you can directly send an email to Liz. This is her picture right here. She's the person who writes articles about our classes and our guides. And if you want to tell Liz something about the class today, you can email her at liz@getsetup.io. I also wanted to let you know that I also teach an improv comedy class online. So if you had fun in this class, you can be interactive, you can learn a couple of lessons about improv comedy, and you can come back and see me. My next class on improv comedy is this Monday at, I believe, 11:30 Pacific time. That would be 2:30 Eastern time. I would recommend that you check the Get Set Up schedule and just do a search for improv, IMPROV. I'm also going to send out an email with the notes from this class and a couple of links to some of the things that I talked about. Also, it will include feedback. So you can leave me a 5-star review if you think I deserve that, and leave your comments on what you liked about the class, maybe what we need to include in the class, and if there are other classes that you would like to see. Also, if you had fun and you know some friends who would like this class, let them know. Tell a friend, maybe even ask them to join you online in one of these classes. So if it's someone you haven't seen in a while, maybe someone who lives in a different town, you can still meet up with them on Get Set Up. And that just helps get the word out about Get Set Up. It helps grow our community, and it lets more people know about the great things that we have to offer on Get Set Up. So with that, I'm going to say thank you so much for your patience and your participation. And hopefully you can take some of these tips and look like a superstar on Zoom. Thanks.
Right. Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Chris.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Have a great day.
Good day for everybody.
Enjoy.
Again, good to see you, Chris.
Thank you.
Enjoyed you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Bye.